Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Wikid Creator interview with Jeremy Lott. We are sitting down to talk movie men and comics and all things about this one. So we got the creator with us today. We're excited to welcome him into the studio.
Very,
Welcome, Jeremy.
very happy to be here.
I'm Michael. I'm one of the co-founders of Wikid Publishing, and we are also joined by another co-founder.
Hey, how's it going, guys? This is Matt Bryant. I'm the other co-founder of Wikid Publishing.
And we're here to talk to you, as I said, about your upcoming Indiegogo. So why don't we just dive into it and let's start. Well, as I mentioned, the Indiegogo is starting tomorrow.
Yep.
Why don't we start with probably what's on a lot of people's mind, which is what made you want to choose April 1st for your launch date?
I love April Fool's Day. It's this day that, any crazy thing can happen. It tells us that we shouldn't take ourselves that seriously. And the way that you really fool people is with a good story. And so that's the perfect day to launch a new comic book.
Nice. Yeah, that's perfect. And so does that humor, you kind of take a humorous approach when you're writing comics?
It depends on the comic, but yeah, there's definitely quite a bit of humor in Movie Men.
Nice.
It's not like tick-like funny, but there are a lot of moments where it had people slapping their knees and chuckling.
So no Deadpool style.
Yeah, not quite that. It takes itself a little bit more
Nice.
seriously.
Okay, nice. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not. I don't think there's any fourth wall breaking in the whole thing.
So what kind of tiers are you going to be launching on your Indiegogo tomorrow?
Let me see if I can do a screen share here. Sec. All right. That is this. There it is. Okay. Are you seeing my screen?
Let's see.
No.
Not yet. No.
Okay. Just a second. So you have to choose desktop or Google Hangouts.
No.
What do you do?
I think it's under Google Hangouts. Yeah.
Okay, let's try that. Start screen share. Okay.
There we go.
All right. Okay, so I'll walk you guys through this. Oh, can you see it now or not?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay. So this is the Indiegogo, what it looks like here. I have a pop-up thing here. Do you see that as well?
The pop-up.
There's a thing that says Google Talk plugin would like to control this computer using blah blah blah.
Oh no, I don't see that.
Okay, good. All right, I won't worry about it then. So yeah, here's the presentation of the Indiegogo, and we start with a $4 tier. If you just want the digital, we'll send you the digital. This is perfect if you're overseas and hate paying ridiculous shipping prices. This one's for you. If you want a physical copy of Movie Men, it'll cost you $5 plus $5 shipping. If the Movie Men International it's the same price, but the shipping reflects the actual price of shipping, and so it's another $15. If you want to give 4 copies to the troops, that's great, and we'll pay shipping. Then we have Movie Men with 2 pinups, and you can see one of the pinups here by Canales.
Nice.
Yeah, he just killed it. And another one it's coming in by Sean Hall. So I really enjoy this pinup quite a bit.
Nice. Yeah, the art on both the pinup and just the comic itself is really good.
Yeah, I'm very happy with all of this artwork. And
it really fits the style perfectly,
Yeah. And then let's see. If you want a copy of the comic book and a sketch by artist Douglas Curtis of one of the Movie Men, pick this one. If you want a T-shirt, a comic, and the pinups, that'll cost you $55. And if you want to go all in for Movie Men, that's $75. And that's the T-shirt, the comics, the comic, the T-shirt, the pinups, and a sketch. And then you have the same thing for international, but it'll cost you a little bit more because of shipping. There are close to the end of this. There's 2 policemen. If you want to be one of those policemen, you can get it buy-in for $149 for that. And if you really, really want to back this, you can get your own 4-page story in the back of the comic we'll write. It'll be a movie men story that incorporates you as a character.
Whoa. So could you be one of the movie men then?
Yeah, you'd be not one of the movie men, but you'd be a person that the movie men are interacting with.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, that
That's a
sounds
pretty
cool.
interesting idea.
Yeah, like kind of and make you part of the story itself.
Exactly. So,
Nice.
I've thrown out a few different scenarios. Like let's say you were you worked at a fast food restaurant and wanted to do this, and we could work that in, or something about your life we'd work into the story.
I can see it being fun to have like an indie comic creator get in there and like have their own comic creator likeness.
Sure, yeah, that'd be fun.
That could be fun, yeah. So we've talked a little bit about the campaign. We're going over the tiers here. For people who aren't familiar, can you just briefly tell us a little bit about what Movement is all about?
Yeah. So the idea there's two different things that come together in this idea for Movie Men. One is that the workers.
Sorry, people. We are having a little bit of technical difficulties. Looks like we just lost Jeremy for just a second. Hopefully, he'll be back in momentarily. In the meantime, why don't we just keep going over the Indiegogo? I have it up on my screen here.
Can you? Is this not working?
Oh, we got you now.
There we go.
There you are.
All right. What did you miss out on?
So you were just starting to explain the
two aspects of it, and you were explaining number one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, that's correct. That's okay.
And I think I killed screen share, right?
Yeah.
I think that was actually one of the things that was screwing us up.
Okay.
So the first thing is that several years ago, Regal Cinemas, they gave their workers new uniforms. And they reminded me a little bit of X-Men costumes of a certain era. And so you had this weird thing with me actually going up to theater workers and saying, "Do you feel like a superhero in that outfit?" And then the second thing is, when I used to go see so many movies. I would go see at least 50 movies in the theater every year.
Wow.
It was an insane number. But when you'd sit there, you're 10 minutes, 5 minutes into the movie, something like that, and you have an usher with a little glow on, right? He walks in,
right?
And he goes through, and he's got to sort of like look to make sure everything is sort of okay, and then he goes to the exit and makes sure that that isn't open, so people aren't sneaking in, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yes. I actually used to work at a movie theater, so I remember that quite well.
Yeah. Did you ever catch people sneaking in?
A couple times, yeah, but not too often. They usually got away with it.
And so I thought to myself, what would happen if, an usher was doing that, and all of a sudden he discovers a bomb, and he screams bomb, and he just gets trampled, And so these things they mixed in my head for a while,
Mm-hmm.
And so finally I came up with a story where, there's this theater, and you have an usher that does exactly that, and he wakes up, and the bomb blows up, but he's still standing, and the theater's still there, but the monster is missing from the screen. Right.
And as some employee of the theater, I think I might be a little bit alarmed by that.
Exactly. And so then I thought, well, what if that, so what would he do? What if the bomb affected him in some way? What if it affected all the workers in some way? Anyways, and so eventually this became the story of Movie Men, where you have all these characters that work at this theater who are affected by what I call a reality bomb, and they have to go try to get the monsters back or die trying.
So I like that idea of like get them back or die trying. It's such a fun. It's like a classic movie line. It's perfect.
Yeah.
In a way, also, it kind of reminds me of Jumanji in a sense, where something that's not real becomes real.
Yeah.
And it has actual realistic consequences on what's going to happen.
Oh yeah.
And will we learn more about the reality bomb and what happened, or is it really kind of a catalyst for jumping off on new adventures?
You learn a little bit about it in this issue. The reality, like it's fleshed out enough that you get a better idea of what could be behind it, maybe. But yeah, I don't. It's not like my theory of the reality bomb or anything.
Right. It's not like the whole point of the comic going forward is like, oh, we're gonna have to find out the reality bomb, and they have a lot more to worry about on their plates right now.
Yeah, I mean, the idea would be, look, if people really like this, that we're gonna have more Movie Men stories, and eventually we'll get there. But I don't want to get there anytime soon.
Oh yeah, that totally makes sense. Yeah, like explore what makes the comic so fun before diving into those deeper mysteries.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, what I like to do is to do new adventures that are more about movies. I mean, specifically, like if there was an issue number 2, it'd be about Frankenstein and his monster, that kind of thing.
Oh, okay, so like a specific movie monster as opposed to like a generic one.
Yeah, exactly. I'd like to, have more fun with it. Once I've introduced these characters and stuff, I'd like to sort of slow down and do more of exploring the movies.
Nice, yeah, that could be really fun. I mean, there's so many different ways you could take that with parodies. And, yeah, that would be perfect. And so this is one of your first. Is this one of your first comics that you've launched then?
Yeah, I had a 4-page story in Indiegogo that will come out relatively soon here. But yeah, this will be my first actual comic that gets out to people.
Nice. And what was it that first started you getting interested in creating comic books?
Look, the thing that really got me into comics wasn't actual comic books. It was a movie. It was
really?
Condor Man.
Condor Man.
Condor Man. It's one of the greatest cheeseball movies of all time. and the lead character is this regular guy who fools the CIA into kitting him out in all the superhero uniform stuff so that he can rescue a Russian spy. And he's a comic book artist, and he's crash testing all the things in his comic books in real life.
That's cool.
Yeah, no, it's a really fun movie. So,
what year did that one come out?
Oh, I want to say it was 1978. I mean, that was the year I was born. But when I was video stores back in the day, they wouldn't just rent you videos. They would also, it was actually VCRs were really expensive at one point. And so we would go and rent a VCR and then some movies along with it, right?
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
Oh, wow. Kind of like what they used to do with video games and consoles, too.
Yeah, exactly. They use the same concept.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it's a Disney movie, and so there's a shelf of Disney movies, and I saw this and said, hey, can we watch this? And my parents regretted so much saying yes to that, because then every time we bought the VCR, I wanted to rent Condor Man. And I have probably seen that movie, dozens of times at the very least.
Nice. Yeah. I feel like we all had that movie growing up,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I got plenty of them.
Right,
some
yeah.
movies I still watch to this day.
Jurassic Park was always mine.
I can see that. Yeah.
Right.
I will say Spaceballs for me, because they had so much funny crap, but at the same time, like, there were certain parts that made you actually sit there and think about certain things, like them playing the trick with the scene that they're recording already being recorded.
Oh yeah.
So they have the infinite loop of it, and it's like, being a kid, like 5 or 6, I would always watch that scene like, how did they do that?
Oh, that's funny, dude. Oh man,
mind exploding.
Right. That's kind of like it was for you with Condor Man.
Caused me to start going into a crash course and down a rabbit hole of like mind-blowing movies ever since then, pretty much, and just everything mind-blowing.
Yep. No, I mean, I love one of the great things about movies is that, it just expands your thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to do a little bit of that in this comic.
That's nice. Do you think that this helped you decide write comic, to actually get into writing comics as opposed to writing anything else?
And look, I've been a writer for a very long time. I've published a couple of books, thousands of articles. Just Google me.
Damn.
But I've been a lifelong comic book fan, and what I've seen over the last couple of years is like a ton of people who are just fans, really, or who do it kind of on the side. Say, I want to do more comic books. I want to write more. I want to write a comic book. I want to draw a comic book, and I want to get it out there to people. And I just thought, that's great. I want to do that. And so, I started the process of doing that and went and found a great artist, Doug Curtis, to help me, bring Movie Men to you. And the other thing that happened is that spurred me on a little bit is Stan Lee died. And during the obits, one of the things they said is that a lot of the characters that he co-created, right, that a lot of that happened when he was 40 years old.
Really?
And I'm 40 now, and I thought,
wow.
well, that's great, perfect time to start then.
Yeah,
that's pretty inspiring to think about it like that,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about how many people know about this, but Stan Lee, even in some of his interviews, said that when he first started doing comics, he was a little ashamed of it because he didn't let anyone in his family really know about it because he felt that they would all be like, "What are you doing? Like, that's not a real job," in a sense. But I mean, I guess he's laughing to the bank with them.
He got the last laugh, that's for sure.
Yeah. He played the long game because he decided, I'm going to move out to California and I'm going to represent Marvel and I'm going to get, deals for our stuff. And eventually that ended up becoming the model that, not only saved Marvel, but made it so that they're the biggest thing in movies today.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty incredible, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of Marvel, though, I mean, Marvel is all about superheroes. You mentioned the Movie Men kind of being similar to the X-Men a little bit. Do you consider them to be superheroes?
I don't consider them to be superheroes. I think they're more like the Ghostbusters in that they're working stiffs who have tools that they go to solve problems with.
Really? Okay. Kind of like a MacGyver almost, right?
Yeah, I mean, except that the tools, you can see this on the page. They get these things to deal with the problem, and they're actually magical in nature.
Right, and they're kind of almost like they're like movie, almost like movie weapons, right?
That's exactly what they are. They're
nice.
Weapons that would be in the movies that could. It's not just the monsters that get knocked out to them. It's also the weapons that are in the movies.
Oh, that's so fun. That's awesome. I love that idea. That's why you got the magical sword, that you have the Indiana Jones whip, the ray gun. I mean, that's so fun. The cane gun. Oh man, but that's a great idea. I like that a lot. Because it's not really something that you've really seen before.
No, I mean, you've seen some of these concepts before. I don't think you've seen them in this sort of not this formula.
Yeah, that's right. Not this formula, and maybe not even in comic books, really.
Yeah, probably not.
Kind of a cool way. I mean, the other thing that's cool is that writing comics, you get to, and because it's about movies too, or movie themes, you can kind of take the best of both movies and comics, and I mean, I think such a strong tool or medium to be able to do so many different stuff.
Yeah, comic books are a completely blank. I mean, in movies, if you want to do, here are the things I want to do, right? I want to do this, and I want to do this, and I want to do this, and I want to do this. You take this to the special effects guys, and they tell you what that'll cost, right?
Right. Yeah.
Versus in comics, well, I want to have this big explosion, and the artist says, "Okay, I'll draw an explosion." Then I want velociraptors. Sure, I can do velociraptors.
Right. Yeah.
It's a lot cheaper.
Right. Yeah. That's
not only that. I mean, as you were saying, it's the best of both. It's kind of like a best of both mediums because at the same time they do use storyboarding art.
Yep.
So in a sense, the comic is just reading the storyboard of a movie.
Yeah. Actually, that's my theory for one of the reasons that comics have become so dominant in movies is because you can just read a comic as storyboards for a movie.
That's true.
If I was the head of a studio, I would say, do not give me scripts, give me comic books, and if I decide I like it, what I see, the story that I see, then I'll have somebody write a script on it.
That's pretty ingenious.
Oh,
Saves
yeah.
you a lot of time and money,
You're
for sure.
seeing not only the creator's like vision, but you're also seeing on how he wants the characters to act and react to certain things.
Absolutely.
And you see the world as a whole instead of having to place the world there. And not only that, it'll be a little bit easier on the director because they have a little bit more that they can go off of as well.
Yeah. And they don't have to. It doesn't have to be a perfect reproduction, but it's a really good jumping off point at the very least.
Yeah.
Would you ever want to see like a movie man, like actual movie?
Absolutely.
Hey, sorry guys, I will be dropping out for just a moment. I will be back.
Okay, we'll see.
No worries.
You soon.
What kind of a movie could you see it being?
I mean, I see their genre as being sort of Ghostbusters-y.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I could totally see that.
But in fact, one of the stretch goals is going to be we're going to give people, if we get 200 supporters, then everyone, all of the individual physical backers will get tickets to a fake Movie Men movie.
Oh, nice. Almost like they're getting their chance to see the Movie Men premiere, you know?
Exactly.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love that idea. It's kind of a fun way to add some unique perks that are really tailored to your comic in particular.
Yeah, I think that's, you always try to come up with something that's unique for a campaign. And, talking with you guys about this, this is what we came up with together. I think it's a really good idea.
Yeah, I think people are going to be really excited to see just how cool that they look, and it's going to be fun. You get your tickets to the movie and then open up the comic, and I think it'll be a really, really fun experience and a nice collector's item.
Yeah. So,
and who knows? Maybe you could do more down the line, even more movie tickets.
Absolutely. Yeah,
so that's also exciting.
And then I'm sorry, I've lost my train of thought there. So
sorry about that. I totally it was on my bad.
No, whenever my dad does that, he says, "Oh, it must have been a lie."
Nice. There you go. That's a good way to get over that one. Oh yeah, it was just a lie. But for the movie, I actually wanted to ask you, if there was a movie, who would you want to see portraying your different characters?
Oh boy, I hadn't even.
What actors? Really? I'm surprised.
Let's see. For Cherry, Emma Stone would be good, I think.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I don't know. I'll have to think about a lot of the rest of them, but
I was just thinking. I mean, of course, you could go with Samuel Jackson for your of the leader of the group.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. There's a guy who runs the theater who's a very hard-ass guy named Carl. And
I love that.
who wouldn't want Samuel Jackson in a movie?
Right. Oh man, he would definitely be a good leader for that. So yeah, that would be fun. I definitely need some time to think about who'd be good for each one. But yeah, I'm sure there's some fun to be had with that.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's the whole redhead thing with Cherry. Emma Stone strikes me as a really good redheaded character.
Maybe Scarlett Johansson for Tessa.
Yeah, that's a possibility. I don't know. You'd have to think about it, but and the other thing is that you'd want people who look a little bit can play young. Emma Stone is not the youngest, but she can actually play younger than she is, right? Versus like Venus, Angelina Jolie is like a Venus type character, but there's no way she can play that young.
Yeah, not anymore, probably.
No. So, I'd want ideally to have a somewhat younger cast for this sort of thing.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, most of the time you see a bunch of young kids working at a movie theater, typically.
Yeah. I mean, that's the idea. Is that they're a bunch of, essentially kids who get thrust into having to go save, not necessarily the whole world, but definitely the city of Bellingham.
Hey, man, I'm sure Bellingham appreciates this.
That's right. We got your back, Bellingham.
That's right. Now, is Bellingham a real place or is that a fictional location?
It's a real place. It's
really.
I live in Whatcom County in Washington State, and
nice.
it's the biggest city in my county. So,
Dang.
and actually, like the movie theater in this is my own creation. It's fictitious, but some of the places that you see actually do exist. When there at one point there's a scene in a mall parking lot, and that mall actually exists, and there's a cut to downtown, and it's an actual representation of downtown.
Nice. That's cool. That'll be fun. That little Easter egg, especially for people who are familiar with the area.
Yeah.
And it's kind of nice just to populate kind of the city in general and kind of flesh that out for the comic.
Oh yeah. No, I really wanted to make stuff close to home, so I decided that the Movie Men were going to be Bellingham's first Ghostbusters super team.
Nice.
And on other projects that I do, I think a lot of them will also be very Washington State centric.
Nice. Yeah.
Sorry, do I hear a dog? Do I hear a dog?
Yes, that's my dog, unfortunately.
Okay.
I see.
Hey guys, I'm back.
There you go. There she goes.
I was gonna say, oh, there you go. I was trying to see the stream there. You had a little puppy next to you.
Yep.
Your pup is a lot quieter than mine.
Yeah, she's not that loud usually.
That's nice.
Unless she sees something that she wants to bark at. So.
My dogs are always barking.
Yeah.
But welcome back, Matt. Thanks for coming back in.
Thank you. Sorry about that. I just had to grab things while getting ready to go back to work.
Yeah, and you're always working on some strange schedules, man.
It's just done because I
think we had the thing happen where I can't hear Matt again.
Oh boy.
Oh, I'll go ahead and join back.
Well, okay, this won't be affected if I just nope out and come back in real quick, right?
Yeah. Okay. It should be fine. Yeah.
All right, I'll do that real quick.
All right, we're dealing with a little technical difficulties. Just pardon us for just 1 second. Jeremy's gonna hop back in, and hopefully we'll be able to hear Matt. Technology, right? People, I mean, what are you gonna do, right?
Yeah, true.
We were just talking about the Movie Men and the movie that we were kind of like talking about, like a hypothetical movie.
Okay.
That you might want to do.
Okay. Can you hear me now, Jeremy?
I can.
Nice. That is the weirdest thing ever. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Well, we're back in it.
Am I hearing everyone though?
I think so. Can you hear me? Oh God. Can you hear me?
Can you hear Michael?
No, I mean if he's saying something, I'm not hearing him.
Oh wow.
Boy.
Okay.
Shit. If I drop out, I think it will stop. So tell him to drop out one more time.
Michael, well, if you go out and come back in, it would probably kill this thing.
Yeah.
Darn it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to try it one more time. We'll hope it works.
Bear with us, people.
If you can't hear me, that's completely fine.
If you guys are in the YouTube chat right now, feel free to ask us any questions that you got. Oh, we got Scott in there. Actually, is there a proton pack and Movie Men? A proton pack. Do you know what that is? Oh, is that from Ghostbusters?
Sorry, we're talking about they have proton packs in Ghostbusters.
Yes, Scott K asked in the chat, is there a proton pack in Movie Men?
Real quick, can you hear both of us, Jeremy?
Yes, I can hear you both.
Yay! So Scott in the chat asks, is there a proton pack in Movie Men?
No, there are no proton packs. I was simply saying that it's like Ghostbusters, not that they have, proton packs and streams and things like that.
Who knows? Maybe if you do a Ghostbusters parody comic, have the ghosts come out of the screen or whatever. Who knows? The possibilities there for sure.
I do have, depending on what we end up doing for if there is a 4-page add-on story, I have an idea in my head that's a little bit Ghostbusters-y. I'll just say that.
Really?
Yeah, we'll see.
That would be perfect. Now, you mentioned earlier you've been working with an artist by the name of Doug Curtis.
Yep.
Who is Doug Curtis, and how did you guys come to meet?
We're part of several different Facebook groups together, and I saw some of his stuff and said, well, this is really good. He does 2 different web comics called The Flying Ferret and Slammer. And so I just wrote to him and said, would you be interested in, I've got a script here. Would you be interested in maybe helping me to develop these characters a little bit visually, and then you know, if we could come to an agreement on what they look like to then draw the story. And he said, sure. And so that's what we did. And when the story came back to me, I did not expect that it was going to be lettered. I thought it was going to be penciled and inked. I didn't realize it was going to be colored and lettered as well.
Jeez.
And I just said, this is great.
Wow. Talking about a freaking happy accident.
Best collaborator ever.
Seriously, that's above and beyond.
No questions. He just did it for you. That's really good.
Yeah. No, I mean, you know, he's used to doing that for his own webcomic, and so he just did it, and I thought, wow, that's wonderful. This is, man, I really lucked out here.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, that's amazing. Especially lettered. I mean, geez, that guy's a pro. He just does it all, man.
That's right. And you know, I like his style of art here. I think it's a good mix of some cartoony touches and realism, and you know, a touch of the macabre too, because you're obviously dealing with movie monsters, and you know, he does a good job of reflecting some of what you'd see in some movie scenes in the panels.
Nice. Yeah, that's a nice blend to have for a comic like that.
Yeah.
I will
you
say,
said you don't want
what you're saying with the cartoons part, it does give me that Archie feel at the same time too, and that's a really good. I would say that's really good for what you're kind of going for more of a realistic take of things.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you see it? If you had to compare it to Archie, would you see it as more of a traditional Archie or like the Archie Goes to Hell style?
I mean, it'd be a mix. You know, because in some ways these characters are a little bit throwbacks, you know, but they're not thrown that far back, I'd say.
Nice, yeah, that's funny. So you know, where you talked about how you met Doug, your artist. But what has it been like to work with him on the book?
It's been great because for instance, today. As I'm trying to put up some pages to, you know, to get the Indiegogo ready to go, I asked him if he could cut some of them down to size just so that they scale to the page, right? And he says, yeah, sure, but there's this one page that I think needs an extra panel. What if I just add it quick? And I go, okay, go for it. And he did.
Wow. Jeez. So it's like almost like he's really good at like knowing, kind of anticipating what you're gonna want and need for the comic.
Yeah, no, I love collaborating with artists. I don't, you know, obviously, you know, it's my story that they're telling and they're my characters, but you know, I really like working with them to, you know, work with their art style as best I can, and you know, if they've got suggestions, I am all ears. You know, on another project, there's an artist named Sean Langley that I'm working with, right? And at one point, a character kicks a door in, and there's supposed to be two characters in this room that he kicks the door into, and you know, Sean would send me the sketches before he inked them, and he said, "How's this look?" And I said, "Well, it looks great, except how many men are supposed to be in the room in the script, right?" And he said, there's supposed to be, oh crap, there's supposed to be two. He goes, what if the door just kills one of the guys? I go, problem solved.
There you go. That's an easy fix, huh? So you said you're working on another comic. Does that mean that you have other projects that you're working on?
Oh yeah, I've got, I don't know, 4 or 5 different projects that I've got artists working on. So
nice. How do you manage to keep that all straight?
Oh, I don't always.
Well,
no, I mean, you know, I'm learning a lot as I go. I'm, you know, I've done a lot of writing, but I had a hard time writing fiction before I finally started writing comic books, because I just had a hard time the characters wouldn't talk to me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah.
Versus the comic book characters will sometimes say things that I didn't expect.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, like in one of the stories that I'm writing, I have a guy swear, and I don't. It's not that I don't swear, but I don't swear like he did. And I go, where did that come from? Obviously it came from my head, but I think of like that's the thing he'd say now.
That's cool.
And
The visuals are informing your writing almost.
yeah, and then I found out that once I did a little bit of that, now I've gone back and my prose. It's easier for me to write characters that are distinct and that talk back to me, basically. So comic books got me over that hurdle that I had spent, I don't know, a decade or more banging my head against.
Wow, I mean that's a pretty incredible thing for comics to do.
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
Comics are amazing. Just gonna say, comics are amazing.
Yeah, I mean that's basically what I was getting at too. Just how it's changed my life in so many ways and for the positive. So yeah, I definitely wholeheartedly agree with you on that one.
Oh yeah, I mean, would you say that this kind of really helped out your overall writing process?
Oh yeah, I mean,
and how you write overall, in a sense.
Well, the best thing it did is it's like it took a grenade and fragged my writing process, right? It said, everything you've been doing before that you've been trained so well to do is not going to work, and you need to try all kinds of other things now. And that's great. That's wonderful. It's an adventure.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That's really good. Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like it helped you get out of what we would consider outside the box, or pretty much outside of your comfort zone as well.
No, it put an M80 under the box and lit the fuse.
Sometimes you need that, sometimes that's just the kick you need to get started.
Yeah.
But like, what kind of a process do you dig into when you try and sit down and start writing a new piece like Movie Men?
And it's different with everyone. I've been experimenting. Here's a full script. Here's a few pages at a time. I'm doing one treatment style right now where I just say, here's what needs to be there, and here's more or less what needs to be said. I think probably full script is going to be more like what I settle into, but it's fun to try different things. In the case of Movie Men, it was a full script. The one thing that problem was that I originally conceived of it as one piece of, I was going to stick a bunch of somewhat shorter comics together into one big thing. And I eventually decided, no, I should do those on their own. And so the original script for Movie Men was only 16 pages long. And so I had to write a few extra pages to kind of, they're not padding, but they actually explain things that I didn't have time to explain before.
So you're kind of getting to expand on that and tell more story.
Yeah, I'm telling more story. I'm letting the characters breathe a little bit more. I think it's definitely a better. The 20-page version of this is going to be much better than the 16-page version.
A better read overall with more balance.
Exactly.
Nice.
And there's one line that I got from my old roommate of 7 years in Washington D.C. And I just quote it verbatim, and it's, I guess that makes sense. If things that don't make sense make sense.
That's pretty fitting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, should we bring up the Indiegogo again? Should we show that off a little bit more again, do you think?
Yeah, why don't you show it? Because
sure.
there were technical problems when I did that.
True. That's fair. So let me go ahead and pull that up, guys. Just give me 2 seconds. I'm going to go ahead.
How many pen-up artists are you using?
2. Ibai Canales and Sean Hall. We're doing 2 different pinups. It's possible that a very far out stretch goal would be that we do a 3rd pinup. The 2 pinups are for their own category, but the 3rd pinup would be something that all individual physical backers would get.
Oh, that's great.
So I have the campaign up here on the screen now.
Yep.
So you have.
Are you working on any other projects with the pinup artists, or is it just you're using them as for commission for the pinups?
I mean, this is the first time I've commissioned pinup artists. These
okay.
particular artists, I had Sean do. There was a I don't know, friend of mine, I guess you call him, who was going through a really hard time, and I had Sean. I said, "Who are your favorite superheroes?" And he told me who they were, and I had Sean incorporate them into a drawing, including some of his own characters, and just sent it to him, and it really made his day. And so I wanted Sean to do something for this as well because he did a really good job on that. And then we're talking about doing a couple different projects, and at some point, I think we'll make that happen.
That's really nice. That's really nice of you.
Yeah, they seem like a good artist to keep in in your back pocket, so to speak.
Oh, Ibai is wonderful.
Oh yeah, you know we love him.
Oh yeah.
So I have, as I said, I have the campaign up here. So we have a fixed goal of $2,000.
Yep.
So pretty good goal. What made you want to go with the fixed goal as opposed to a flexible goal?
It's a money back guarantee for people. Because one of the things that you always have a question about if you've never dealt with a person before is, how do I know I'll get this? And one of the things they said is, look, if this doesn't get funded, it's about a week later, Indiegogo just gives you your money back, easy peasy, refund squeezy. So there was that. I also, if you look at how much money I have into it, it's probably close to that much. I wouldn't mind getting, paid back.
Yeah, that's definitely
a really smart idea for it, especially as a business model for them itself.
Yeah, and 2,000 isn't that high. Also, it was just, I think we can hit it, but I'm not going to focus so much on the monetary goal. The thing that really interests me is getting as many readers as we can get, and so that's why all the stretch goals are anchored to number of readers rather than dollars raised. And don't get me wrong, if this went bonkers and it made a lot of money, that'd be awesome. But
that's interesting. That's actually a really good point. Do you have that on the list on the page here?
Yeah, stretch goals. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that. So, because I'm not sure I've really seen a stretch goal where it's based on the number of backers before.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty cool.
I've heard people talk about it, and I just thought, why don't I do that?
That's actually really cool. Yeah, it really. I think it's a fun way to get more people involved.
Yeah, I think so. Get more people to back this, and you get more stuff.
And then 200 backers, we're going to be getting the physical copies of the printed faux movie min ticket, if you will.
Yeah.
Which will get you your premiere seat access to the movie min first issue.
Yeah.
We've got a little bit of preview of some of the monsters we might be seeing in this issue. We got a mummy there.
Yeah.
A T-Rex dinosaur.
Yeah, you can scroll down and just show them the first 6 pages there.
Okay, nice. Yeah. So here we go. We have the first page here, and this is we're seeing some of the characters here interacting.
Yeah, I wanted to. One of the challenges it was just introducing as many characters as fast as I possibly could.
Really.
I mean, from the look of it, you have a really good, nice balance for it all.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's pretty awesome. Oh, there's the reality bomb. It's like, what the heck? Where'd it go? Did you see it? I don't see nothing. Oh shit. What's the inspiration behind those movie titles there?
I mean, just 2 of them were just characters we're using, and the other one I just parodied Harry Potter.
Nice. Perry Potter and made about nice. That dude looks like he's freaking terrified.
Oh man, I can't wait for this to actually fully come out. But sorry, guys, I actually have to get back to work.
Okay.
I will talk to you guys later.
Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Yep.
Yeah, not a problem. Sorry I couldn't stay for the whole thing.
It's okay.
Take care, man. We'll see you next time.
All right. See you guys.
Yep. Bye.
Man, here we got the mummy.
Yep.
Ancient royals were entombed with their riches and jewels. Torn from the screen, unsure of what to do, this prince of Egypt decides to punish this grave robber.
And you see that hand reaching out there, that Krish thing?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That was what he just added today.
Oh, really? He added that panel in.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a nice placement on that.
Yeah, he just said, I think it needs that. And I said, okay, sure.
You can't even really tell it's been added in. It flows so naturally together.
Yeah, I really like it.
Yeah,
also, he
nice.
came up with all the sound effects too. So, grrr is
dude, that's a nice touch. I love the sound effects. I like when you have the sound effects that really brings you into it. I also really like stuff like this, where you see the hands coming off of the panels over here too.
Yeah,
I think for this kind of comic, I feel like that's perfect. That's the style you want to go with.
Indeed.
It's almost like the comics are jumping out of the page at you.
Yeah, no, the panel can't even contain this story.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love that. Well, very cool. That's looking good. And we kind of talked about the perks. We have an option earlier in the video. We have an option to get written into a 4-page mini story at the end of the first issue.
Yep.
Movie Men style. We got one where you can get written into the first issue as police officers. There's a bit towards the end, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have our international backers who are getting all in. That includes the PDF, the floppy, 2 pinups, and the Movie Men T-shirt and a sketch.
Yep.
What's the sketch going to be of? Have you revealed that yet?
Oh no, it's you pick. It's there.
Oh really?
6,
oh wow.
So there are the 5 movie men and the manager of the theater, and you get to pick which one you want.
That's really cool. That's a really nice deal. So you actually there's some options there.
Yeah.
And then let's see, all in for the domestic. That of course is with the PDF, the floppy.
Yeah,
2
it's
pinups.
It's the same thing. It's just
same thing. Okay.
Yeah. What I did is when you see the negative there, it's saying like, this is the same thing except it's for international.
International. That makes it really easy for the international backers and really everyone could be able to kind of distinguish the two.
Yeah.
Because you did that again over here, I believe, with down here. Yep. The physical movement and then the international physical movement.
I only did 2 things for international, right? So you can, well, 3 things really, because if you want the PDF, and if you just want a cheap way of getting this comic, that's the way to go. If you're not in this country, but if you want it sent to you, whoa,
that was like the Matrix there for a second.
Or Spaceballs. But
right, jeez.
Yeah, but if you want a physical copy, I mean, it's not. Just shipping isn't cheap. So okay, here it is. It's $15 for shipping, or if you want the whole package, it's $20 for shipping.
It really makes it really simple for everyone to be able to get their stuff, I think.
Yeah. So, but like if you're international, basically, if you don't want to do a PDF, you want physical, fine, you can just get the comic. If not, just get the whole ball of wax.
Nice. So that's the whole deal. You get all the perks, all the benefits, and all the goodies. So
exactly.
I'm showing it off again. I realized I hadn't had it on the full screen for the YouTube guys, so I wanted to make sure everyone gets a chance to see some of the art here. I'm
not seeing I'm not seeing chat. Are there any questions for me?
We had. Let's see. I'll double check. I know we had one from Scott a little while ago. I will double check. Let me see. I don't want to go Matrix style, so I'm gonna stop sharing. No more Matrix. And everyone in the chat, feel free to ask some questions. Looks like we have. Let's see. Zach Hawkins appreciates our stream. He said that he's actually barbecuing right now, which is actually what he does for a living, which is kind of interesting. So anyone in the chat, if you guys have any questions about Movie Men or for Jeremy and how we got started, feel free to ask. I'm going to go ahead and ask a question myself, which is, you mentioned about how you got into comics and stuff and really coming from more of a writing role. Do you have some role models that you look up to in the comic book world?
Yeah, I mentioned one of them, Stan Lee. I think that it's great that, he was able at 40 to completely reinvent comics, and then he went on to reinvent them again with the movies, right?
True.
You know, and I kind of think of Neil Gaiman as like the Frank Sinatra of comics because he really just did things his way. And
Nice.
you know, he did some very original, very fun things. And now he just sort of dabbles in comics, but his dabbling is actually more than a lot of people could ever manage. You know.
Right, he came back for the Sandman Overture.
Yeah, he did that, and then now he's got a Sandman universe that he kind of oversees.
Oh
But
wow.
but then he's also got all these Dark Horse books that are adapting his short stories as comics, right? And
Yeah.
you know, they're turning American Gods into a comic book. You know,
Right. Yeah.
yeah, his dabbling is more than most of us. And
Most of us achieve. Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, and Peter Simeti, you know, of Alterna, uh, I love his positivity. It's I'm not as positive as he is, but he really is like I know it's like stupid. It sounds weird for me to say this about someone who's younger than I am, but he's sort of a role model for me.
Really.
Yeah. No, I mean I just like the cut of that man's jib and really want to support him and learn from him.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. He's just such an incredible guy, and he's really an inspiration to me and Matt as well. Just for what he's doing for the industry and yeah, and his positivity. I mean, he just never lets up, you know.
Yeah. And you know, he's faced down a lot of adversity, including a couple of guns being shoved in his face.
Geez, I know, right? I mean, and if I don't know if you've seen in the news, but there's been some recent news about that, and that just shows you how serious that situation could have been. You know,
Oh yeah.
it's pretty scary. So yeah, I'm definitely glad he's okay, and he's stronger for it now. You know, all his fans came to back him up, and they were there for him when he needed it. So
Yeah,
but yeah,
and he learns from his fans too. You know, you know he's when he went through some stuff with people basically trying to get a bunch of creators to drop him and you know he went through a really bad time and you know he said that he couldn't believe that so many people would get his back. You know,
really.
and you know, but we will, and I think that's just wonderful.
Nice, yeah, that is great to see, and sounds like you have a nice range, like a variety of role model that you look up to. So that's really cool to say.
Yeah, I mean it's good to not just have one because you can learn from all kinds of people.
True, yeah, especially in you don't have to agree with everything they say, but take from what you can, and I think there's a positive lesson there for people.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely agree.
what do you want to accomplish with your first issue of Movie Men?
I want to entertain people. I want them to have lots of fun. I want them to, you know, everyone who got it, I want them to share it with friends. Everyone who didn't get it, you know, I want at some point we'll make it available to, you know, in a sort of mass version that anyone can get. You know, I want as many people to have fun with this as as is at all possible.
That's a great. I mean, that's what any writer I think could hope for is to have someone enjoying your book. I mean, that's the best part about it, right?
Yeah, you know, I had a fun time telling the story. I want you to have a fun time reading it.
Nice. That's perfect. Now, would you ever consider doing some sort of event, attending like a movie con or any kind of movie themed events to help spread the book, awareness of the book?
Sure, you know, I'll go just about anywhere to promote this thing. I mean,
Nice.
maybe not Antarctica, but anywhere else.
Just about anywhere, right?
Yeah.
Maybe Alaska. But no, I mean, I think that would be a perfect place. I think that's something that's so cool about your book is that I think it has something for both movie fans and comic fans and people who are fans of both.
Yeah. You know, and I my local comic book store, the Comics Place in Bellingham, you know, they said we'll do what we can to promote this, and we'd like to have a signing from you at some point. And you know,
oh wow, yeah,
you know, I think it's
that'd
gonna
be perfect.
I think it's gonna be big in Bellingham as well.
Yeah, I mean, especially it's set in Bellingham. I think that'll be a big draw for people, and you can tell them you're inspired by your local theater, and
Yeah.
that's a big part of it too. And I think there's a lot to like there.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's just this is gonna be a cornucopia of awesome people.
So, what do you have a plan for tomorrow as you start prepping and launching into getting it, this thing getting started?
You know, tomorrow I'm gonna do as much social media as I can, and then try to get on some streams tomorrow night.
Nice. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
But I'm part of several different Facebook groups. I'm going to make sure all the members know there. I'll broadcast it as widely as I can on Facebook and on Twitter. I'll probably try to do something on Reddit, though. I'm very new to Reddit, and look, I'll give it a shot.
So we actually have a fun question from the chat. Zach Hawkins asks, Jeremy, if you had to pick one song or album to listen to while reading a book, what would it be?
Well, so an album to listen to while reading a book.
While reading your book. While reading the Movie Men comic.
Yeah. I don't have an inspired choice except Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon is always great.
You can probably sync that up with just about anything and make it work, I think.
Yeah, like who knows? Maybe if you read it at the right pace, it'll track perfectly. Like the Wizard of Oz.
You'll be ending on the last page right as the song comes to a close. Wow. Yeah. Did you ever read? Did you ever listen to music while you read or write?
I don't usually listen while I read. I do while I'm writing. Yeah, absolutely. You want either you can use alcohol, you can use music. There are various things you can use, but you want to screen various things out. And so music is one way of doing that.
Nice. Yeah, that's fun. You can even combine the two if you'd like, a little alcohol, a little music.
Yeah, hey, why not?
That'll do wonders for you, right?
Yeah, the only thing, the only problem with alcohol, A, you don't want to overdo it, but B is that what you're doing is you're dumbing your brain down just enough to focus, right? And the problem is that it's often a very bad speller at that point. But as long as you're willing to go back and fix the
right,
it's fine.
My method exactly. I write it out and then I go back and check it once I'm sober. It's like, oh, there we go. Oh yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Yes. What was I thinking? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good way. Good way to do that.
Indeed.
So we're getting close to the end of our hour here.
Okay.
I wanted to talk to you just a little bit more about the Indiegogo, which, just in case you hadn't heard, is launching tomorrow on April 1st, which is not a joke. This is not a drill. This is for real.
We take April 1st seriously here.
Yeah, that's right. Wikid Publishing does a joke about April Fools. we don't suffer no April Fools. So yeah, look out for that tomorrow on Indiegogo. Is there something that you'd like to tell your fans out there and people who are excited about your project?
I hope you have a blast, and I hope you tell me what you think of it. If you think it sucks, tell me. I want to know. I want to know what you liked about it, and what you hated about it, and I want to know if you had a good time, because that's what I'm really, really shooting for. Nice.
That's awesome. Yeah. I think people are going to really connect with your characters, and I think that's exactly what they're going to do when they read that comic. So I think that's something to look forward to.
I sure hope so.
And for people who are interested in joining you on this journey with the Movie Men, what is something that they can look forward to for the future of Movie Men?
If there's the second story would be Movie Men meet Frankenstein.
Nice. Frankenstein. And so if people want to see that happen, please go out there and back the first issue. Check it out. It's going to be a really fun, exciting comic with a lot of action, a lot of fun, a lot of comedy, a lot of really great times with it. So
give it a shot.
All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us on this hour. Is there any more questions in the chat before we wrap things up? We're going to call it a day. Zach says Pink Floyd for the win. I knew I liked you for a reason. That's perfect. So yeah, guys, get out there, back Movie Men, and check it out. And thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye.